We are live. It is day 68. And what are we doing here? We're doing 100 days of code. And yeah, this is day 68. We're in the code. And today we're talking about deployments. It's very exciting because tomorrow we're going to start with React, which is the most used web development framework right now. But I'm getting ahead of ourselves here. So we have a special guest here. And our guest today is here at Andersen. Leon, how are you doing?
Hello, hello. As always, excited from the coding time or time with code. I finished watching the section on deploying, and there were a couple of steps that we basically went through. The first step was to basically change where our session cookie gets stored. So before we had it stored locally, and now we had to make sure that it can be accessed from users without needing to access our local memory. And for this, we basically install a package that's called, not 100% sure about the package name, but something with Mongo sessions, session for Mongo or something like that. And how's it called? Connect Mongo is the name. And we basically can then go into the session config part of our app, where we did the configuration of the session cookie before. For example, where we said that it's HTTP only, or that it's that it expires after a week in milliseconds, 1,000 times 60 times 60 times 24 times 7. I found that funny quirk. And yeah, inside of there, we now can write store, which basically is a variable name that we created with a link to the with the URL that we have in the environment in the .env file. And we used db URL as another variable for the Mongo URL. So we have that defined somewhere else. And I think I'm not sure if we did that or if Cole did that in this video already. Let me check. Yeah, I think it's just db URL is basically a variable that you have the code. That's awesome. That leads to the .env files, and we can see that there's also two pipes in between the .env. I think if you scroll up a bit, and with const db URL, we have the two pipes. So this means that it first looks if we are basically in what is it called, production and development, and if we are in production, then, or if we are deployed, basically, then we can access the first one, and if not, then we will default to the localhost URL. And yeah, we did that pattern, by the way, with multiple of these links that were going to the env file. You had it a bit more down when you scrolled more down. We had the const secret is process.env.secret, or this should be a better secret, which is basically just a placeholder to that's descriptive of its use case, of its feature. And in line 64 we can see that we only write store, the variable, and in line 66 only secret. We don't need to put the key and the value inside, because when we follow the path of those variables, then we will get to a key and value pair, which will then get inserted into this session config. And yeah, that was the session cookie part. I mean, that also I'm not sure if the secret is for the session cookie as well. Probably about, well, can you go back to the secret thing? Where was that? I think it was below. Oh no, there. Why do we? Do we have multiple session config variables? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, can you scroll up again, please? To okay, the const db URL is a bit further up because it's already used in the Mongoose Connect package as well, and so yeah, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, what the secrets are about. I just, like, they were always just part of the setup. Cole always just included them, and I guess it's just some kind of API key that makes sure that only only authorized people, authenticated people can access, but not sure for what this should be a better secret is exactly used.
It's basically a private key for the encryption.
For the encryption of all the different elements that are communicating to each other, like Cloudinary and also Mongo Atlas and also Heroku, or just for a specific one?
Just the session cookies, just the session management.
I was a bit confused because Cold always used, like, we have secret, we use secret in different places, and he always used this should be a better secret, so I assumed it was like the same secret, but it's probably just another secret for another use case. Maybe he deleted this already. It's only there? Okay, then maybe I've just seen it so often that okay. And I guess then the other secrets are all stored in the .env file, or don't we need any secrets with he didn't include his .env file, but okay, yeah, but the links to it. Yeah, those are all different secrets. So it seems, but why don't we store the? Yeah, it's only a local secret if there is no other secret in the .env file. Yeah, that makes sense. But why don't we have it for the others as well?
Do you mean the defaulting to the string, or what do you mean with why don't we have it for the other ones as well?
Yes, exactly. Why we do, like, there are all kinds of different secrets, and only the secret for the session cookie is inside of the inside of the app.js file, like visible, and all the others are like hidden in the .env file.
Even the one for your secret should be hidden, right? Because you should not keep this. This should be a better secret in your code base. And I guess for lots of stuff, it doesn't make sense to have a default value because they are not arbitrary, right? You can have any secret and it will work to encrypt your cookies. But obviously, if you're committed to your code base, especially if it's open source, people will be able to read it and then they will be able to crack your cookies. But for the other stuff, they are provisioned by the third-party services such as Cloudinary. So if you put in an arbitrary value, the app will still crash because that key is invalid. But as a secret, in theory, you could pick any value because you are the one who decides this value. So you can have a default just to make sure the app runs in case you forget to set it.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah. Because the other ones are like because this secret is the only one that we are predefining, or that we're defining ourselves, basically. Was that correct, or I mean, as far as I remember, it looked like in some of those other I don't know how to call it, dependencies, or hosting services or deployment services. It looked like maybe we could even create our own keys, maybe in one or two of them, but I don't know. But I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, usually you have to put your secrets also somehow into the platform that you use to deploy, and there are different techniques for different platforms. And the thing you said earlier was correct. So since you get to decide the fashion secret, yeah, well, you can have a default value, but keep in mind if you commit it to any repository, there's a security issue, right? Even if it's a private repository, you don't want to commit secrets there because GitHub can have an issue, right? Or your organization can have an issue and can be hacked. And always make sure that the secrets are as guarded as possible, so to prevent hacks or any security vulnerabilities.
And always be mounting. That's also very important.
Absolutely. Always be mounting, always be secretly mounting.
Damn. So, okay, on to the next part of it. Basically, we then or code set up Heroku, which is basically running our app. So maybe to give a little overview over the whole deployment process again, because we didn't cover it today. We deployed or hosted our database, our Mongo database, with Mongo Atlas, and the app gets deployed with a different service, which in this case is Heroku. At this point, I've read here in the course, Heroku doesn't have a free tier anymore, or free tier anymore. So there's a free alternative called Render, just as a little side note. And but in the videos, code still worked with Heroku, and I don't know, maybe by now Render is already has changed stuff, but anyway, it was just a little side note. So yeah, we installed Heroku by installing the command line tool, CLI command line. I don't know, index, or I don't know what the I was for, but let me check. Should take a sec. CLI command line interface, that was it. So yeah, and then we can basically access Heroku or give Heroku commands just through the terminal, as we are used to, also with Node.js. And yeah, there's a command to start it, and then we press a button, and then the browser opens, and then we log in the browser, and then we're connected. And then with some, like, there's like basically also a command to push the app to Heroku. And then we encountered a couple of errors, because which we then basically worked through step by step, always checking if there are any errors left. And yeah, the errors were, for example, that we didn't have the IP of Heroku whitelisted in MongoDB. And we fixed that in the MongoDB settings. Unfortunately, we had to allow all whitelist all IPs, because Heroku Heroku always switches through IPs, uses multiple IPs, but there shouldn't be any problem, because we are having authentication built in anyway. And yeah, then we had an error, which was basically, what was it again? Yeah, in the JSON package file, I think Heroku needs a script, which or a key with the name of script that holds the value of the basically our app.js file. But also it has I think it also includes the Node.js command. So it was node space app.js. I'm curious why he didn't use nodemon app.js. I don't know, but probably for Heroku it doesn't matter, because they don't get updates by us, and they don't have to restart it all the time. But not sure about that.
That's entirely correct, because nodemon is only for development purposes.
So it wouldn't even be possible to use it even if we wanted, or like what's the issue with Nodemon? Doesn't it run on these kind of deployment services?
You can, but it makes your app generally slower. So usually all of the tools that you use locally for development, they give you this hot reloading feature, which is basically as soon as you hit save in your app, the updates immediately become available in your local version of it. But usually the trade-off is that you cannot do any performance optimizations. So in the future, or most apps that you will create will have something called a build step, where you basically trim all the fat that is only for development purposes from your app and make it, I don't know, 10x faster. But yeah, and that is then what you deploy to the different platforms. And it's similar here. Like Node1 adds a bunch of fat that allows you to have very easy development. However, it would complicate stuff in a live environment, so you just exclude it.
That's interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to learning those steps as well. Yeah, and then basically we also configured the Heroku environment variables, and I think, I'm not sure if that was already it what we went through with this. Well, let me check before the battery of my second laptop where I'm viewing the course on dies. Oh yeah, basically we changed the source that we are listening to, like which we always have at the end, like the route of listening on port 3000. We changed that to some kind of let me check. Oh yeah, and we also not only for the listening to the ports, but basically all of the other environment, all of the other secrets in the and API keys in our .env file. We also imported them into Heroku. As far as I'm understanding it now, is that they just need to be able to talk. All of those parties need to be able to, or parts need to be able to communicate with each other. So they all need to have access to each other. And one can do that either through the UI or through the like the online UI of Heroku, or through the Heroku command, or Heroku H. What was the H? I forgot the HLC or something. Heroku CLI, exactly, like command line interface, with the commands to basically upload the secrets and stuff. Yeah, and then finally, when Cold pressed or restarted the app again, it finally worked, and basically went through all of the different features in a very short way, and they all clicked. And yeah, I mean, I do feel a bit like I cheated the section because I only watched it, but I feel like it makes a lot of sense to me, and being able to have to train or test my understanding by being able to explain it and then getting feedback on that feels like I'm at least not just pure like I'm having a little bit of practice inside, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to things getting practical now, but I'm also a bit anxious about my typing speed as our chronic listeners might already picked up, but I'm sure that over time, like even if it takes a bit longer for me to get to typing speed, high typing speed levels, I'm definitely sure that I will get there because I already increased. So anyway, yeah, that's my wrap up of the Yelp Camp section, and I think I can allow myself to feel a bit to feel happy that I worked through all of it and understood. Yeah, even if it was just yeah, watching and re-explaining, and but yeah, happy about it. Was a very nice project.
Yeah, perfect. As you said, feel happy. Everyone should feel happy. And you can feel happy for big things, such as finishing a complicated section that had you deploy your first app, or at least in theory, you know how to do it. Or even small things, like if you just pick up a new understanding of JavaScript, maybe you understand new neurons. I think coding and learning the new channel should be just filled with joy, because then you can just let your curiosity drive you to the good future that awaits you. So thanks everyone for watching. This has been day 68. Tomorrow's a big day coming up. It's going to be a very nice day, if you know what I'm saying. And we're going to start with React. So I think we will have twice the nicety tomorrow for just one stream. So if you're watching the recording, join us live. It's going to be double nice. And if you're already watching us live, thanks for watching. Even thanks for watching if you watch the recording. But if you're live, you could always ask questions. We would answer them live here in this stream. So thank you everyone for day 68 of 100 days of code with
Leon Andersen, who already had the same thought as you now expressed, or that you hinted at a few days ago, and who is excited that both exciting, let's say, symbols are meeting each other, and we will see which those are tomorrow in explicit detail. So yeah, and we will do that with my mentor,
Mr. 69, aka LF Mill from 10x Dev. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Always be mounting.